what are your thoughts on crypto in general? So what parts technically or philosophically do you find especially beautiful maybe?
Oh, I'm extremely bullish on crypto long term. Not any specific crypto project, but this idea of, well, two ideas. One, the Nakamoto consensus algorithm is, I think, one of the greatest innovations of the 21st century. This idea that people can reach consensus, you can reach a group consensus using a relatively straightforward algorithm, is wild. And like, Satoshi Nakamoto, people always ask me who I look up to. It's like, whoever that is.
Who do you think it is?
I mean,
Is it Elon Musk? Is it you?
It is definitely not me, and I do not think it's Elon Musk. But yeah, this idea of groups reaching consensus in a decentralized yet formulaic way is one extremely powerful idea from crypto. Maybe the second idea is this idea of smart contracts. When you write a contract between two parties, any contract, this contract, if there are disputes, it's interpreted by lawyers. Lawyers are just really shitty, overpaid interpreters. Imagine let's talk about them in terms of like, let's compare a lawyer to Python, right? So okay.
That's brilliant. Yeah. Oh, I never thought of it that way. It's hilarious.
so Python, I'm paying, even 10 cents an hour. I'll use the nice Azure machine. I can run Python for 10 cents an hour. Yeah. Lawyers cost $1,000 an hour. So Python is 10,000x better on that axis. Lawyers don't always return the same answer. Python almost always does.
Cost.
Yeah, I mean, just cost, reliability, everything about Python is so much better than lawyers. So if you can make smart contracts, this whole concept of code is law, I love, and I would love to live in a world where everybody accepted that fact.
So maybe you can talk about what smart contracts are.
So let's say we have even something as simple as a safety deposit box, right? A safety deposit box that holds $1 million. I have a contract with the bank that says 2 out of these 3 parties must be present to open the safety deposit box and get the money out. So that's a contract with the bank, and it's only as good as the bank and the lawyers, right? Let's say, somebody dies, and now, we're going to go through a big legal dispute about whether, was it in the will? Was it not in the will? What? Like, it's just so messy, and the cost to determine truth is so expensive. Versus a smart contract, which just uses cryptography to check if 2 out of 3 keys are present. Well, I can look at that, and I can have certainty in the answer that it's going to return. And that's what all businesses want, is certainty. They say businesses don't care. Viacom, YouTube's like, look, we don't care which way this lawsuit goes. Just please tell us so we can have certainty.
Yeah, I wonder how many agreements in this, because we're talking about financial transactions only in this case, correct? The smart contracts.
Oh, you can go to anything. You can put a prenup in the Ethereum blockchain.
A married smart contract.
Sorry, divorce lawyer. Sorry, you're going to be replaced by Python.
Okay, so that's another beautiful idea. Do you think there's something that's appealing to you about any one specific implementation? So if you look 10, 20, 50 years down the line, do you see any, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, any of the other hundreds of cryptocurrencies winning out? Is there, like, what's your intuition about the space? Are you just sitting back and watching the chaos and look, who cares what emerges?
Oh, I don't speculate. I don't really care. I don't really care which one of these projects wins. I'm kind of in the Bitcoin as a meme coin camp. I mean, why does Bitcoin have value? It's technically kind of,
what? Yeah.
Not great. Like the block size debate. Or when I found out what the block size debate was, I'm like, are you guys kidding?
What's the block size debate?
You know what? It's too stupid to even talk about. People can look it up, but I'm like, wow. The governance of Ethereum seems much better. I've come around a bit on proof of stake ideas. Very smart people thinking about some things.
Yeah, it's, governance is interesting. It does feel like Vitalik. Like it does feel like even in these distributed systems, leaders are helpful because they kind of help you drive the mission and the vision, and they put a face to a project.
Well,
It's a weird thing about us humans.
Geniuses are helpful, like Vitalik.
Right. Yeah. Brilliant.
Leaders, I mean,
Are not necessary. Yeah. So you think the reason he's the face of Ethereum is because he's a genius? That's interesting. I mean, that was it's interesting to think about that we need to create systems in which the quote unquote leaders that emerge are the geniuses in the system. I mean, that's arguably why the current state of democracy is broken, is the people who are emerging as the leaders are not the most competent, are not the superstars of the system. And it seems like, at least for now, in the crypto world, oftentimes the leaders are the superstars.
Imagine at the debate, they asked, what's the Sixth Amendment? What are the four fundamental forces in the universe?
Right.
What's the integral of 2 to the x?
Yeah.
I'd love to see those questions asked. And that's who I want as our leader.
It's a little bit.
What's Bayes' rule?
Yeah, I mean, oh wow, you're hurting my brain. It's that my standard was even lower, but I would have loved to see just this basic brilliance. Like, I've talked to historians. There's just these. They're not even like, they don't have a PhD or even education history. They just like a Dan Carlin type character, who just like, holy shit, how did all this information get into your head? They're able to just connect Genghis Khan to the entirety of the history of the 20th century. They know everything about every single battle that happened, and they know the like the Game of Thrones of the different power plays and all that happened there, and they know like the individuals, they know all the documents involved, and they integrate that into their regular life. It's not like they're ultra history nerds. They know this information. That's what competence looks like.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that with programmers too, right? That's what great programmers do. But yeah, it would be, it's really unfortunate that those kinds of people aren't emerging as our leaders. But for now, at least in the crypto world, that seems to be the case. I don't know if that always, you could imagine that in 100 years, it's not the case, right?
The crypto world has one very powerful idea going for it, and that's the idea of forks, right? I mean, imagine, we'll use a less controversial example. This was actually in my joke app in 2012. I was like, Barack Obama, Mitt Romney, let's let them both be president, right? Like, imagine we could fork America and just let them both be president. And then the Americas could compete, and people could invest in one, pull their liquidity out of one, put it in the other. You have this in the crypto world. Ethereum forks into Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. And you can pull your liquidity out of one and put it in another. And people vote with their dollars. Which forks companies should be able to fork. I'd love to fork NVIDIA,
Yeah, like different business strategies. And then try them out and see what works. Like, even take take Calm AI that closes its source, and then take one that's open source and see what works. Take one that's purchased by GM and one that remains Android Renegade, and all these different versions, and see.
The beauty of Calm AI is someone can actually do that.
Yeah.
Please take Calm AI and fork it.
That's right. That's the beauty of open source.